Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. As usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up your telephone and start giving us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak on anything: politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, any issue trending. But the most important, you have the power to interrupt our conversation at any time and bring in a new subject matter. We fear no subject matter. We express our opinion on any issues. And if we get new information, we change new opinion. There are a lot of international issues, and Grenada have a number of people who participate in international issues. We have the war in Russia and Ukraine. We have the war in Israel and Lebanon and Gaza, Israel and Hamas. Now, I believe that the African countries have again missed another opportunity. Here was an opportunity provided for Africa to band themselves and come up with a solution to solve the problem. I believe if any block of countries could have done it, was Africa. And come up with solutions to settle the issue, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, rather than partitioning themselves and taking sides. Once again, the issue in Israel is a long history, a long conflict. But Africa could have come up with proposal for a ceasefire and put on the table solution for a permanent settlement. That would have raised the influence of Africa in the world. Instead of that, South Africa want to bring up Israel. A war is going on. Both Hamas and Israel are carrying out excesses. But South Africa want to bring out Israel. Partitioning Africa position. The issue now is to stop the war, to get an unconditional ceasefire, and a suggestion of solutions on the table that could bring about lasting peace. Africa is so divided, and they continue to let themselves be fractionized and divided by Europe, by Russia, by China. They can't seem to work together. And that is some of the challenge. That's why I applaud, again, the action taken by Ralph Gonzalez in trying to bring Guyana and Venezuela together and coming up with a solution to de-escalate the conflict that's been going on for 120 years. I believe in Grenada here, some members of the National Democratic Congress, those I call some of the sanctimonious creatures in NDC. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good day.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, I was interested point yesterday about me shit, man. Last night I ended up listening. While I listening, I just say laughing in my mind. I say, well, it's so sad to see that black people give up spiritualism for religion, man. Everybody holding on to the Greek and Roman thing. I feel so sad for religion. You know what? And these same people certify the pastors to give them the certificate so that they could go far and brainwash it so far. You know? I would like people to type in from Google the Nicene Conference of Bishops. And when they will see that they will knock the whole religious system out. So I don't know anyone who wants religion because I see that religion like attacking nuclear, and I don't want to do that. You know? But my main point, I will leave it for a while. My main point is you're calling for unity for the independence celebration. Over the years, they're calling for segregation over the years. Let's go Command Park. Command Park is the place to be. And all of a sudden now you want it. But I feel it's kind of confusing. It's a confusing religion. Because all year round, for all the years, we're calling for Command Park to be the segregation we are celebrating independence. Today, you want one united force to celebrate. So you all want bright, you all want know everything, so everybody when you talk, everybody listen to you. When other people talk, you go not against them. So take him, Mr. Pierre, and enjoy the day.
Yes, my brother. I think this government saddens my heart. You know, Grenadian gambled and they selected a group of people that was not in politics before per se. Mr. Andal tried to make it to the point, he sold the point, all of us was new, relatively new in politics. So there was no need for bitterness. There was no need for anger, hate. They got 9 seats. They got it on a silver platter. They came into office and they did not have to scratch their head for money. They were so surprised that there was so much money left in the treasury. They are the ones that came out and say $530 million was there. We declared the treasury was pregnant. So there was no need. They met the government with a strong social program. One of the pluses of the previous government was a strong social program. We were coming out from COVID-19. There was a war in Ukraine that people expected to escalate. And in a worst case scenario, the previous finance minister said that in a worst case scenario, we would not have to fire anybody for 4 months. Even if things go deteriorate. This was one of the objectives of the previous government. You had some individuals coming. There was no need to be bitter. And they reach in power and they out for vengeance. They declared it was restorative justice. They lied to the public. They deceived them and told them it was transformation. But then we found out, based upon their own utterances, that it was not transformation, it was restorative justice. And they was out for vengeance. It was not necessary. I always say some of the most criticized politicians in Grenada is Keith Mitchell, Gregory Boyne, Peter David. And when you look at these people, they don't look as if they have a bitter heart. Followed up by Emmeline Pierre, followed up by Miss Modeste, Yolan Bain, Oliver Joseph, Mr. Steele. In your interaction with these individuals, they don't seem to have a bitter heart. So why is it these NDC individuals was so bitter and seeking vengeance? That's why today I want to call to some of the sanctimonious members of the National Democratic Congress. Those who like to walk around with accountability and transparency and morality around their neck as if it's a garland. I urge them to get a meeting with Deacon Mitchell. Encourage him, beg him, nudge him, or drag him in front the Integrity Commission. There is enough reason. There is enough indications that this government is opening the door to a cesspool of corruption. And if you like Deacon, if you like the NDC, nudge the leader, encourage him, beg him. And if you have to drag him, call the individual that helped to drag the past prime minister out at the press conference. He's a strong individual, you know. He's full of character and purpose. When you reach in front of the Integrity Commission, let Deacon Mitchell give account of the gifts that he got in Liberia. You cannot keep a gift over $30,000. And the rumors on the ground, the speculation on the ground, that has been consistent and growing indicated that gold-plated things was given, and some of them over 30,000 US. We don't know if it is absolutely true, but because of the deafening quiet silence of the members of the National Democratic Congress and the consistency of the speculation and the rumor, we convinced that you must have answers from the government. You cannot accept gifts. This opens the door to corruption. So I call on the sanctimonious members of the NDC. You're supposed to know who you are. Not yesterday you're born. You've been jumping around speaking about morality and accountability and good governance. This government took, several ministers of this government took loans in the GDP. Let us hear from the Integrity Commission if that is right, or if nothing is wrong with it. Should government ministers use their power to get loan from the government bank? The Prime Minister set up sham boards. Any independent board will say, no, we can't do that. We can't give several millions of dollars to government ministers. Several members of the government are agents of the CVI program. Ask the Integrity Commission whether this is wrong, whether it is true. What kind of society are we going to make if at this stage we're going to tolerate this level of corruption, or what seems to be corruption, from the top members of the government? What do you expect the ordinary people to do? Maybe the sanctimonious members of the NDC, are you not concerned that it seems that we have a third party that is directing our foreign policy? The Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Mitchell, said he did not read the agreement, the Samoa agreement. He did not read it. The man is a corporate lawyer, and he claimed he did not read the agreement. The foreign minister was against the agreement. He believed that it contradicts the Constitution. He considered it as selling out our sovereignty. He said we have to think long and hard. While this was being said, the agreement was already signed. Well, if the foreign minister was vehemently against it, and the Prime Minister didn't know about it, then who authorized the ambassador to sign the agreement? Obviously, the ambassador did not take on his own and sign the agreement. Otherwise, the government would have rescinded the signature and fired the ambassador and consider him as a rogue. But the government did not do that. It means that there is an authority in Grenada dictating our foreign policy. So I call on the sanctimonious members of the National Democratic Congress. Go on me, Dickon. Nudge him. Encourage him. Beg him or drag him in front of the Integrity Committee. I call on these sanctimonious members of the NDC Do you agree with the statements, the expression that are made by senior members of the NDC? Have you had an opportunity to look at the face of the Prime Minister, Dick Mitchell, when he was talking about beggy? You didn't look at his face. Now, how we celebrating 50 years of independence? We got independence. Gary described it as brimstone and fire. And in 50 years, we calling people commoners. We consider some Grenadians as classless, nasty people, good people, and beggy people. So who are we celebrating this independence with? I have not heard a call for national colors, and I know it is awkward and difficult for the government to call for national colors because they supported calling those who was wearing national colors clowns. So now it is difficult for them. I see they want to embrace CARICOM roundabout. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
yes,
good afternoon. Mr. Pierre, how could we get together now to celebrate 50 years of independence when all the years before that, as long as NNP in power, that the NDC chose to go down somewhere down there and celebrate their independence, never join to celebrate a real independence, then why now you want the Grenadian people to come together to celebrate 50 years of independence your way? You didn't unite with the people before. We had a referendum before. You go against the referendum. You told the people to vote no, do not support that.
9 times.
Everything you didn't want the people to support at that time, now you want them to support it now because you is in office. Is that right or wrong, Mr. Pierre? And another thing I want to tell to Mr. Pierre, the ambassador who signed that document, why he cannot speak to the Grenadian people and tell them why he signed the document? Why he cannot talk to the Grenadian people? The world is small now. We could all sit in the living room and watch him on television telling us why he signed that document and who gives him the authority to sign that document. Because the Prime Minister doesn't know. He said he don't know. He didn't read nothing. It's the first time I ever hear that. Something as important as that, the Prime Minister said, he don't read nothing. He passed it on to his Foreign Minister of Foreign Affairs. And the Foreign Minister of Affairs say, in his belief, this is wrong. And then come back on that to say, he take blame. What blame you taking? Explain to the Grenadian people what's the blame. You're taking the blame for telling the ambassador to sign it or not. Give us a clear indication or something. Let we know. Don't do that to us. Please, Mr. Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, please allow the ambassador to tell the Grenadian people if we have a third government outside it, if we have a third party somewhere in the diaspora. Please, sir, I'm begging. Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, I think it's in the interest of all right-thinking Grenadians to know who is the authority that instructed the ambassador to sign. Because it was not the Prime Minister. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, afternoon, sir.
Yes, good day. Good to hear your voice.
Happy New Year and Merry Christmas to you, Mr.
Thank
Pierre.
you very much.
Mr. Pierre, I'm looking to see what's going on for the 2024.
We have to be hopeful.
When I calling up on the medical station, I don't see nobody paying attention. You have a lot of little things, a lot of road to build. I want to see how we starting. A lot of road, because remember that water at past they do a lot of things. Snell Hall Medical Station, Sotters Medical Station. I'm looking to see what's going on. I don't want to hear this kind of thing when we hear. We don't shuffling past and say we giving man name and then we don't do nothing, you know. This is a year 2024. We don't sit down and do one thing and then we saying one and we doing the other. We have to get serious in this time now. And if I see when you hear we walk down the road like February, March, April, no, we don't sit down with that at all. Trust me, Mr. Pierre. We talk. For the past year we talking, and I didn't see anything doing. So I want to see what's going on for the year 2024, Mr. Pierre.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yes.
Blessed day.
But the talking is powerful because talking creates awareness. It encourages discussion. Some people might not have known. There are some people that might listen to a particular program, and because of the political... Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, man. Good to hear your voice.
Right. And Happy New Year to all the people around. Mr. Pierre, does the opposition party or minister have the right to send a note or a questionnaire to the integrity in public life? I am asking that in the reference that since the committee have set up with Miss Bristol, Carl Bristol's daughter, we have not heard anything from her directly. We have not heard any case went to her. I want to find out whether or not the opposition cannot find out something, because we're not hearing anything from them. We're hearing things happen. We're hearing ministers getting loans. As you said before, we don't know the conditions. We don't hear anything that happen, that the rules and regulations that govern the bank that gives the loan. So I think somebody in authority should speak. We hear now that the cabinet will be reshuffled, and that's the right of the Prime Minister to shuffle his cabinet as he wants. But we have to understand that it's not the ministers that really manage the different ministry, it's the permanent secretaries. We're hearing now that Mr. Posueda will be removed or should be removed from the Ministry of Agriculture. We had two Ministers of Agriculture, and things was happening where nothing was really moving under Mr. Posueda. So now we understand that Mr. Posueda will be out.
So you have one now?
We understand that we have one. What was the significance for having both of them? I didn't see it. Because as far as I know, one public distribution of opening of plants, I remember the minister, the head minister of agriculture attended. Everything was on Mr. Posueda. And under Mr. Posueda watch, we had a lot of money in the budget and money given as grant.
Mr. Posueda identified lunatics and idiots.
Yeah. And he said, together with the permanent secretary, that not 1 cent is going to stay back. The year have finished, and that $10 million have not.
They don't spend a cent yet?
Yeah. So I am hoping that the opposition get a little bit more on the ball. We know when they ask questions.
But the opposition is asking questions and it's not been answered.
Yeah, I know that.
And the regularity with which they have parliament again is another issue.
That's true.
And the government is not volunteering to give information. The government don't have no press conference.
Right. But I'm wondering if the opposition party government side of the government does not have the right to address the or to speak to the integrity in public
I guess
life.
any individual could write the
So
integrity
I think
and yes.
I think we need to hear
Yeah.
something.
But normally these things and them will take long, because if you write the integrity committee on an issue, they're going to say they have to investigate it, and it could take 2 years. Yeah. So I think we have a number of us on programs and asking these questions, and we want to encourage dialogue. We want to encourage people to speak about it. We are appealing to children in school. I believe it's important that children in secondary school and national college ought to be concerned if we have a third party directing foreign affairs.
Well, right. But I believe also that the integrity in public life can make themselves more open to the public.
This organization and them does not do that. They doesn't really go on unless they are investigating a case and come with a report. But you wouldn't find them getting involved in these things like that. They will gather information. If something is amiss, they will call back the individual for clarity, and they will conduct their own investigation, and these things take time.
Just to end, I am not sure that we're going to see any major development in the Ministry of Agriculture, because if you remember, when Mr. Poseda took office, he said to the nation that a lot of vacants in the Ministry of Agriculture. But he have not told us if he filled those vacants.
Poseda was just a joke.
If you have over 11 vacants was there, and they had the money to fill it, but we have not heard it.
So who is the new Minister of Agriculture now?
Toes.
Well, he was always the Minister of Agriculture. Poseda was junior, I think.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I didn't see the use for the junior.
So they removed Poseda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Based on what I understand, I don't know if that is official.
I've not heard about the change.
I don't know if it's official yet.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, when it becomes if it becomes official, I didn't see the reason for having the two ministers in agriculture.
Okay.
Good.
Yes, thank you. And I hope the new Minister of Agriculture, I want him investigate John Gall Kepmi's cousin case. Because she got a piece of land from government. And the then minister rescinded the letter, take back the land from her. But she was paying for the land. And when she engaged the minister agreed to give her next piece of land somewhere in Grenada. And that is easy to find, you know. The minister just have to go to the Ministry of Lands and survey. They know the case. They know it's John Gall Kepmi's cousin. They know her. The previous minister is there. Information could be gathered from them. But you could call me too. If you can't get information from Ministry of Lands and Survey, and you cannot get information from the previous minister, I could give you the information. What went on is heartless. The sisters say I sat on the same bench with the minister. What wrong have I done to this minister? The sister that they rescind the letter and take back the land for her. Although she was paying for the land. She went to a lawyer, but when she had the fee, she don't go back. So I'm appealing to the new minister. Investigate the case. And that's one of the challenges we have with the National Democratic Congress. I am not hopeful that they will do anything for agriculture. Historically, the NDC has been the worst government for agriculture in Grenada. They talk a lot when they're in opposition. But they have done more harm to agriculture than any other government since 1967. The NDC has done more harm to agriculture than any other government. Remember, it was the NDC that cut down Belvedere nutmeg. And say they planting banana. No extension officer agreed with them. I don't know who advised them to do that. Now, the National Democratic Congress in 2008-2013, they were accused, there was suspicion that they had a second cabinet. Today, it appears that they have an individual or a party or a third party dictating our foreign policy. That must send alarm bells in the average Grenadian. Who is this foreign party? Or who is this third party that is dictating our foreign policy? Maybe I ask the children in secondary school, next time a minister come to your school, ask them, who is the third party dictating our foreign policy? The Prime Minister of Grenada, the cabinet and the foreign minister don't know who authorized the ambassador to sign the Samoa agreement. They don't know. Unless they purposely deceiving this country. I tell you, NDC does make lies in lab. Historically, they like to sit down and plan lies. I always wonder the time they're wasting to plan lies, if they use that time to come up with solutions, they will be better off. So it's either they deceive in this country, they lying, or there is a third party dictating our foreign policy. In the next month, we will be spending over $15 million to celebrate 50 years of independence. But it seems that we purposely are leaving out some sectors of the country. Those people we call classless. Those people the Prime Minister called beggy. And look at his face when he referring to these people, which share despicable contempt. You have members of the NDC there. How would you raise your head in the future if you say nothing now? How would you come in the public and speak about accountability and transparency and morality and good governance if you stay silent now? I appeal to you. Have a meeting with Deacon. Nudge him strongly. Encourage him. Beg him or drag him in front of the Integrity Commission. Within the last 2 years. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
My
Yes.
issue here is, why will you celebrate 50 when you have achieved nothing within those periods? This been said often to us.
He said we have achieved nothing since 1983. So Deacon believe we achieved the revolution, and he know. So
okay. All right, then.
After post 1983, Deacon say we achieved nothing. And now he's so dismissive about the people he called beggy and nasty and etc.
Yeah.
And you notice
what I like is those big dogs.
And you notice he trying to bring down CARICOM 15 million. So
yeah,
he can't deal with this ordinary matters in Grenada. So they have to deal with the big dogs. So they get 15 million to get CARICOM round table.
And those commoners, we leave them commoners, we leave them aside still,
you don't
right?
meddle with these commoners now. The commoners dealing with the big dogs. Or the big boys.
Take care, have a good day.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. These fractious and dismissive and marginalizing statements are not good for a country. It doesn't forge unity. It doesn't help our struggle. And Grenada in particular that experienced a revolution when Maurice Bishop felt that those who oppose him must go to jail. So Bishop jailed over 3,000 Grenadians. And when I say over 3,000, I'm only speaking about the people Bishop signed the detention order on. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, good day.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, my brother, go right ahead.
I listened to that the Prime Minister said something there, and I fully agree with him.
Why you say that?
He said if you're beggy, if you want to go up your teeth in, you have no right in politics. Because what you go and do that, you're going to thief the people money. People, because you're begging, they will buy you, and it's damn right. If you don't have sense, if you can't support yourself and you're begging. People you, so it makes sense to go in politics, and I fully agree with him. Lako call, say, a mad black woman. Everybody, the woman vexed him,
You agree with, no, I don't think the woman vexed him. You agree with him too?
What Mr. Lako should say?
Did you agree with Lako too?
The mad white woman. If Lako call her white.
Do you agree with Lako for saying that?
She's a black woman. Why you call her white woman?
Okay.
The mad black woman.
Yeah.
Lako should say the mad white woman.
Do you not see, caller? Do you not see these statements are divisive, causing division in the country?
All right, well, Lako should call her white woman.
Caller.
She like that.
Caller.
She like for Lako to call her the mad white woman. If you are a black woman and you don't want people to call you black, well, call you white. She's a white woman. You have a good day.
Yes, my brother. And that is what is sad, Because when I engage some of the NDC supporters, and I'm somebody who hunt down the hardline NDC to have discussion with them. Most of the time does run, they doesn't want to have discussion with me. But they agree with that. They say let us starve. They say let us pong stone in the river. They say don't give them work. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, how are you doing? Good evening, sir.
Good man. Good.
Compliments for this season.
Yes,
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
And may prosperity be upon your life and your cup be filled and run it over.
Run it over. Yes, my brother.
Yes.
Chairman of it.
Yeah.
Chairman.
Yes, my brother.
Yes. Mr. Pierre, I want to find out something. Would you consider the cabinet reshuffle an actual reshuffle or just something where people just, they got the Prime Minister just shift two persons and, decide, you go put somebody in certain... How would you call that? Would you call it a cabinet reshuffle? I would like to find out.
Well, it is a cabinet reshuffle. It's very difficult for the Prime Minister because we in Grenada selected a group of individuals that is so inexperienced. They so lack institutional knowledge. They're arrogant. They're disrespectful. And they're acting like vultures. They're insensitive. So it's difficult for the Prime Minister. All year on, when the Prime Minister removed the Minister of Finance, I was happy. I think within this group, the only hope is Dennis Connell. So it doesn't matter to me who he put where. It is difficult for a good Prime Minister plus this one is a fake. It's difficult for him to able to maneuver this group of people. The only hope in the NDC is Dennis Cornwall. The others,
I would say,
to be very frank with you, half a dozen and six.
I would say, and excuse my ignorance, or woe be unto the shepherd that lead his flock astray. That is all I would say.
That is why I'm begging NDC members, those sanctimonious ones, to go and help Deacon. Bring him in front of the Integrity Commission. Tell him he cannot keep the gifts he gets. Over 30,000, you have to bring it in and give it to Integrity. Let him know that what he do in GDB is wrong. Let him. You see, they must do that. Otherwise, Deacon have to get a rude awakening. Look at the language that comes from his mouth. You go in St. Lucia, some of the statements he's making is like washing your dirty linen in public.
Oh yes, and he's a man, and he's a leader. I can safely say he's very he created that kind of division,
yes,
in a sense.
And when
he has to look into himself seriously, because I'm telling you, Grenada is in serious trouble, and we need somebody to rescue us. Trust me, we need somebody to rescue us.
And because of his action, you didn't hear the Minister of Agriculture, lunatics and idiot. Look at the outburst. Look at the outburst of Laco, black mad woman.
Oh yes.
A sister that was a public officer, one of a medical doctor, a staunch community, a Shatney woman, a woman, and so disrespectful, he called her a mad black woman. Every one of them tried to out-dramatize Deacon. So it's sad.
Yeah,
so
really sad.
I pity him. I don't know. It doesn't even matter who he put where. The only hope in NDC is Dennis Cornwall.
Well, we're going to continue praying for Dennis Cornwall.
Yes, I think people must pray for him.
Yeah, we must continue praying for Dennis Cornwall so we could get more Dennis Cornwalls.
Well, you can get more for him to wake up.
The affairs of this country.
He have to wake up and understand that otherwise they're going to run this country back in the hands of the International Monetary Fund.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
Yeah, yes.
Oh yes. But it is what it is, Mr. Pierre. You know what?
My brother.
He who have ears to hear, let him hear. And I want to believe that some of them are hearing, but they are not listening. So I do hope that it's not too late for them to receive the word from people like yourself and others who does normally put it out. All right? I just wanted to find out if it's a cabinet reshuffle, but you told me it's a cabinet reshuffle. I'm going to leave it like that.
Yeah. The quality is, but it's a reshuffle.
All right, my brother.
And it is important for us as Grenadians. This is not all about support this party. This is our country. In 2008, 2013, the NDC left this country. They were selling assets that did not belong to them. They sold 13 pieces of assets to meet current expenditure. It's like you have your house and you sell your television to pay the electricity bill. Then you sell your stove to pay the water bill. And then you cannot send the children to the doctor because you have to pay the tax bill. But what will happen to yours? This is what the government did in 2008, 2013. They were selling capital assets to meet current expenditure. Now, this budget the government have is heavily dependent on the CBI program. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes,
how are you doing, sir?
Go right ahead, brother.
You know, I promise you something that you pointed out. That of the neophytes that we end up having as leaders in this country now. And a perfect example is shown In that book I was telling you I was reading, The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. That is the rise and fall of Hitler and the Nazi movement in Germany.
We used to be studying that.
And the more I read that part that the writer, William Scherer, put in as part of that book, I see how it applies clearly to the Grenada situation as we have it now. And this is why I took note of it and wanted to read it for you. And I'm going to do it now. But aside from history, I'm going to change the name, apply Grenada, and we have a present Prime Minister to put in the place of the person that is written about in that book, or the situation as it was. But aside from history, where did that leader get his ideas? Through his opponent, though his opponents aside and outside, inside and outside of Germany, were too busy or too stupid to take note of it until it was too late. He had somehow absorbed, as so many of them, a weird mixture of irresponsible, megalomaniac, maniacal ideas which erupt from thinkers during the 19th century. That leader, who often got them second hand through such a model philosopher, as certain philosophers we had that give that idea to Grenada and has done so much devastation to Grenada. Or through his drunken other friend, embraced them with all the feverish enthusiasm of a neophyte. What was worse, he resolved to put them into practice if the opportunity could ever arise. And this is what we end up in Grenada here with the present Prime Minister we have. Not knowing the history, and so enthusiastically embracing the philosophy that he thinks makes so much sense in the Moise Bishop situation. We are heading for trouble. Later on in that chapter, the writer put, no traditional conception of morals and ethics must disturb either the supreme state or the heroes who lead it. You see the kind of problem we have here? World history occupy a higher ground. Moral claims, which are irrelevant, must not be brought into collision with world historical dates and their accomplishment. The litany of private virtues, modesty, humility, philanthropy, and forbearance must not be raised against them. So mighty A form must trample down many an innocent flower, crush to pieces many an object in its path. Don't you see what the present Prime Minister and the construct that he is trying to make or get done is doing just that? That statement that he made relative to the church concerning the Somoro agreement fits squarely into what that part I just read.
State, yeah.
And if the guy read that book and inculcating his principles of governance, the philosophy that and all these guys and them did. Because if you understand what the way Hitler got his influence from was the same sort of philosophers that Marx and Lenin got the Karl Marx and Lenin got their philosophy from. Got the drive to get into politics and work the system they call socialist system or communist system is working. People need to understand, read that book. That's the second time I'm reading that book, Mr. Pierre. I read it a lot of years ago and I bought one right now. Cost me $120. It's an expensive book, but it's big. 1,200 and something pages. And that has some quality information in it that people need to understand. Why the world is the way it is right now. And a lot of times when I hear people have their hatred against America, it bothers me because had Hitler and such philosophy that was prominent and prevalent around that time got hold of the whole wide world, there would not have been a black human being on the face of the earth today, because Hitler described us as Enoch.
Yeah. So that's the worst race.
Not fit to live.
Yeah.
You are going to extinguish this nation. the black people nation. And people need to understand these things and them. So, Pierre, let me deal with something else.
You got to be
Two things
quicker. You got to be
actually. Honest to
quicker.
anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Honest to anybody. That statement that the Prime Minister made in Parliament relative to if you beg and so on, I don't have a problem with what he said there because I think it is being misinterpreted. It is twisted a whole lot, honestly. But I have a problem with the man in his effort nowadays to always be in the limelight. There was that meeting in St. Vincent, hoping that they would have a common grounds of understanding in the Venezuela-Guyana issue. I listen to the news every day. I never heard any of the news people point out that the Prime Minister of Grenada was going to be in that meeting. Lo and behold, the meet there, I heard on the news that he left this morning with his foreign minister and went to St. Vincent. As far as I'm concerned, he inserted himself in that meeting. He was not invited. Maybe he was invited. I need to hear it from official grounds. But as far as I knew before that morning, Grenada was not invited as part of the meeting. Now, here comes another thing that shows up ugly to my mind. I see pictures on Facebook with the Prime Minister of Grenada posing with Mr. Maduro, the president of Venezuela. No picture was shown with him and the Prime Minister or the president of Venezuela.
Guyana,
sorry. And what I'm saying here is that if you understand diplomacy, there was trying to resolve a problem that showed itself. And here you have the Prime Minister of Grenada posing with only one and presenting it to the world. It seems like he's showing his biasness towards the
photogenic choosing sides. Yeah.
But he doesn't understand. He's so simple and naive that he doesn't understand the significance of doing nothing like that at that time. If you want to pose, you could pose with two of them, fine. But you only see one pose. That gives an indication where Grenada stands. And if he doesn't understand that, that's a simple interpretation that could be brought towards the there comes his naivety so expanded. But I mean, as much as he does a whole set of embarrassing things honest to him, in the case of the parliamentary pronouncement, I honestly don't have a problem with it. I think they are making too much of it because the way he put it, at the time he was saying it, what he meant is not my understanding that he meant to say that they are beggy people and greedy people and whatever. I don't think so. Take care, sir.
Okay, thank you, caller. And we'll take another call because this one was... Give us a call if you want to call 4420175. You can just post your call. Yes, I believe that members of the National Democratic Congress, you have a lot of them. They always come out and sometimes doing as if they're the most sanctimonious people in Grenada. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre, and season greetings once again.
Yes, my brother.
Mr. Pierre, I on a different level of understanding this thing. Because you know what the Prime Minister said in the Parliament about Beggy and if you don't have this, you don't have that, he mean what he say. Here's what.
You didn't notice his face when he said it.
He said, and you know he's 24. But hear this. A minister was basically demoted to an MP, and they stated that he go and do further his education. Yet you have another minister in Calcutta, one subject. Why you ain't going further his education also? Eh? What do you feel like talking to? You all feel like talking to dumb people. I hear a man say on radio last night that he could get a job, not get a job, but take a job in NDC government anytime he wants, and not one of them can stop him. I heard it with my own eyes, not ears, my eyes, because I watch it also. We had to look and listen what's happening because these men making this place into a draconian state. And what a better read a while ago, and he put our leaders in context. I just said this all thing. These maniacs, I call them all of them maniacs. And people just be on radio calling people dumb and stupid and all NPIs done. So I done. You done, Mr. Pierre? all of us done. So everybody graded up for NP done. And everybody up for NEC bright.
Intelligent.
And I said, what Prime Minister the Commission has to do is to evaluate who his friends are. Because who is enforcing him? Hold on. Who is enforcing him with his rhetoric and giving him the idea that anything he do that is right? And let us support our Prime Minister and everything he do and support everything the government do that is right. they're in for a serious, serious problem. You understand? Mr. Perry, we'll talk. Have a good day.
Yes, my brother.
Yes.
Number to call is 442-0175, and I think we can take another call and another punch on the program as we continue. This country belongs to us, and we don't want the country to deteriorate unnecessarily. There's always issues, but we do not want the government to make blunders of such magnitude that it affects the economy seriously. And that's an important thing. Yes, caller, welcome.
Pierre.
Yes, my
Yeah, I tend to support that last caller. I don't believe, my good partner spoke before, I don't believe what he said in terms of what the Prime Minister meant. Because, remember, Parliament is for the parliamentarian.
Yeah.
So when the Prime Minister speaks in the Parliament, he was speaking to the parliamentarian.
And if the Prime Minister felt he was taken out of context, he should come and give an explanation.
Exactly. So
Just as when he said restorative justice, he has not explained.
That's right.
Just as when they say classless people, the Prime Minister endorsed the statement because he didn't take issue with it.
Right. So I don't support my good partner there at all.
And just as when I say he's a fake,
yes,
I don't see no reason to change my mind yet.
No, because the fact remains that he was speaking to the Parliament, not to the nation. We happen to hear because of the system that thing. But when you speak in the Parliament, you're speaking to parliamentarian.
Yes, caller. Thank
you.
Yes, we may just have opportunity to take another punch. You have to be quick if you want to have the last punch. Otherwise, I'll say that I want to encourage members of the National Democratic Congress, people like Mr. Tillman Thomas, the gentleman that like to St. Jude, William Joseph, Nazim Buck, and others to hold some discussion with our Prime Minister Dick Mitchell and ask him to cease and desist from the despicable, dismissive, and marginalizing language that is being used. It is not good for unity. It fractures the society. Ask him to go to the Integrity Commission and account for the gifts that he received. I mean, all of all these big people, all you know, you can't keep it. When I look at a little 10,000, all you making a big noise and showing it up. This one is 30,000 US per year. Go and explain it. And if it is not true, tell the public it is not true. The fact that several members of the government is taking a loan from the GDB Bank at the expense of the ordinary people, that cannot be right. Come on. All you know better. The fact that several members of the NDC, top executive or the government, are agents for the CBI program, that too cannot be right. Thank you very much.